College football apostles is here. I'm your boy George Wrighster, former NFL player, college football player, and college football analyst for CW. My main man Ralph Amsden here as well, college football savant, regular Rain Man, and man that is going to be bringing you some stories about things in the world pretty soon as well. Like the stuff down in the weeds that you're like, how did you find this sort of thing out? But we got a lot to talk about today. More coaches getting fired, people FAFOing, weird stories that Ralph finds for us to talk about as well. But we always start. Actually, first, make sure that you like, subscribe, get notifications, tell a friend about the show. But we're going to start where we always start at, usually, most of the time, is with our biggest takeaways from last week. Ralph, you're up.
I just the fact that there's nothing like college football. We had I was up bright and early for me because usually I'm up till 4 or 5 in the morning on Fridays doing like a high school football roundup. I get up to and I specifically get up to see the James Franklin interview on College Game Day.
Oh my God.
Um,
We have to talk about that. Is that on the list today? Because I need to talk about
well,
that. I
I
forgot
figured you
about
were
it.
going to piggyback off it. I figured you're going to piggyback off it right out the gate, but I'm sitting there and I'm watching James Franklin and Nick Saban have this super compelling conversation. I mean, and to me, to the people who love college football, this is like R. Kelly sitting down with Gail King, or like like any of these interview moments when Barbara Walters has somebody that's big in the news or whatever. We're I'm sitting there and I'm completely captivated by the fact that James Franklin just got fired and he's sitting down in Athens on the College Game Day set saying that he's going to go win a national championship somewhere else. And
So did you like it?
it well, so that's what I'm gonna get to. It's like
He said, "Well,
it's a
this is what I'm gonna get to."
it's emotional, but not real, like not real emotions. And I know you're going to talk about that, but like it's emotional, but it's not necessarily real emotions. And then the most compelling man on TV, who's great at everything he does, Nick Saban, takes a minute to set James Franklin up to say, was this fair? And James Franklin like, well, that's not for me to say. And Nick Saban's like, well, I'll tell you, it was unfair. And they just have this incredible moment, whether you believe it was a good moment, bad moment, disingenuous or whatever. It was incredible. It was captivating. And you look past James Franklin's face, like the seriousness and the sternness and the sullenness and
That sign in
everything
the
from the
back.
in the past week is all just on his face, whether he's letting it show actively or not. And in the back is this giant sign that says Jackson fart,
Yeah,
and they're holding it up right next to his
that
face.
is college
I'm
game
like,
day. That
I'm
is
supposed to be taking this man seriously, and this the giant word fart is next to his face for the entirety of this interview. And I was like soaked in gratitude with how much I love this ridiculous sport. It's not the only, there was a million moments like that last week, but that was the really big one.
so. Let me start by saying I do believe James Franklin should be a head coach somewhere next year, 100% at a big time university. I think he's a like he's proven himself that he's a winner. So let me get that out of the way. And I do believe that he is a um consistent person. I had three main takeaways from James Franklin on game day. Number one, he will be a head coach in 2026, and he probably has a decent idea what are his options. And that this was his moment to come up there and show everybody, like, hey, I'm strong. I am here. I am James Franklin. I should be the leader of your program. Number two, getting fired may have been the best thing that gets him out of his conservative ways because he said, we got fired. We got to, regroup, figure out what was going on because he's been awful at hiring offensive coordinators. He is a defensive, and I'm not talking about defense in football. He's a defensive oriented person. They Penn State always plays big games on defense. Like that they're trying to keep the game close and hope to see what happens at the end. That's why you never see outlier results in their favor in big games where they knock somebody's doors off because they're just trying to just not make a mistake, keep things close, and then hopefully, you know, get some things going and then just lean and win the conservative way. That's not gonna work. So that was my second takeaway. Third thing is, and this is not an indictment on his personality, on his whether he's a genuine person or anything, but he sounds like a politician because everything sounds rehearsed. It sounds like a canned answer. Like Ralph, he always says what the optimal thing to say in that situation is. Like he never is like, "Hey man, we're not good enough right now. We got to get it done. We got to pick this, and this up." Or the it's not gonna happen. So quit asking. You know what I mean? Like he's not. He never says the thing that's not buttoned up, and it's almost like Ralph. If you met a person, how long have you and Aaron been married?
Be 20 years in May.
Okay, I've been married over a decade. And so if you meet somebody and they say, we've been married for 20 years and we've never had an argument or we've never had a big fight, what are you immediately thinking?
You're not married.
Yeah, either you're not married or you're lying or you guys are playing pretend. And that there's really some deep rooted stuff that's going to come up at some point in time and they're going to be like, I've been feeling this for 20 years.
Bro, I had a fight today about whether or not we were fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, and you can be happily married and still have these arguments. So it's like he never says the thing that is. He never says anything. You don't have to be controversial, but he never even says anything that gets taken out of context. Like, how do you never say anything and you're talking 3 days a week as a head coach and nothing ever gets taken out of context? Like it is like he rehearses every single answer. It is like a AI calculator in his brain. Ooh, what is the optimal thing to say right now? And that bugs me. It scares me honestly.
So you're saying he is like AI to where like yeah, like it looks real, but it could never like make a fire or like
Yep.
there's this final step. I don't know, man. I've seen some Sora videos this week that have me pretty scared about the future of our species. It's
Exactly.
weird because I'm like
But
these
but it
videos
can't
come
make a
across my
fire.
timeline,
That
George.
that is the that is the issue. That may be why he can't win the big game is because he can't make a fire.
Yeah. Well, he's I don't know, man, but I just all I know is it was very very funny to see him be sincere or insincere in the best optimal way as you're saying, and then to see those signs behind his head. I also got a pretty big laugh this weekend out of the game on Peacock with I think Jason Garrett, um, with his play-by-play partner standing up against the and it's supposed to say Big Ten Saturday,
Oh
but they were
my
covering
God.
up the SA and the AY on the ends, so it just said Big Turd.
Yes.
Oh, I love college
Nobody
football
thought
so
about
much.
that at first. I wonder at what point in time. I wonder if somebody in the truck was like, "Yo, do you realize what this says?" And it's probably like a lower level staffer that's like, "Hey, um, I know we can't move them now, but somebody in the truck is over there, and it's somebody over in the corner, like, hey, hey."
Oh man, I love this sport.
Yes, dude. This season is making me fall in love with college football all over again. Um, so my biggest takeaway for this last week was a lot of these head coaching search teams, they are getting ready to FAFO. Penn State, Florida. If Florida doesn't get um, Lane Kiffin, they're going to figure out that their brand is not as big as they think it is or as untouchable as they think it is. Because, and it's not that they're not a blue blood, none of this stuff. It's just that times have changed, buddy. And some of the best, I made a short about it, that some of the best coaching guys available are at their alma mater. And people, for some reason, believe that Clark Lee, who's out here talking greasy about the Vanderbilt football and what they're building and all of this stuff and how they're going to become a power, he played there, is going to walk out the door and go to Penn State, Ralph. No, he's not. I ain't talked to Clark Lee. I ain't talked to nobody at Vanderbilt, but I'm going to tell you that people don't realize what it's like. Like, you can leave San Jose State and take the USC head coaching job, and nobody at San Jose State is going to be like, well, he turned his back on us. Nobody. If you leave Vanderbilt to go to Penn State, you leave Vanderbilt to go to Florida, you might as well cancel your alumni card, because the next time you come there, you will be groveling back. Brent Key at Georgia Tech, things are going swimmingly there for him as well. You think he's going to leave there and walk over to Florida? I don't believe so.
I
He's
think he loves that university.
Yes.
As much as people talk about some of these other guys, I think Brent Key.
He was a
I think he
lineman.
loves Georgia Tech. Yeah,
Linemen don't even hop in the portal very much. You think that because they're stable people, they don't just jump around like that. They are loyal. That's why Mario Cristobal left Oregon to go to Miami, because he's loyal to Miami.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Brom, you think he's leaving Louisville? He left Purdue to. Oh, that's one, Ralph. Jeff Brom left Purdue to go to Louisville. Working out.
Yeah, it is.
And do you think he's gonna leave his alma mater, who he's got sway with the people at the school? He's a son of the school. He's gonna get so much more leeway than other coaches are, and you're gonna leave and take the Florida, the Penn State, the UCLA, Virginia Tech, the Oklahoma State, the UAB, the any of these other Auburn if it comes open? The answer is no.
And they got money there too. Like
Yep.
they'll figure out a way to keep him.
And the question is that everybody keeps talking about, we are in this Mr. Steal Your Coach economy, this Trey Songz coach economy, where, let's go steal Dan Lanning. Let's go steal Marcus Smith. Let's go steal Jeff Brom. Let's go steal this guy. Ralph, I was trying to think of how many times that has ever worked. I want you guys to hop in the comments. Tell us, when have you, outside of Jeff Brom that I just mentioned, where he went from Purdue to Louisville, and that version of working out is, is subjective a little bit.
Yeah, we're still not talking about, they don't have an ACC championship. They don't have a college football playoff. So even when we're talking about success, like, he's not there yet,
Yes. So outside of Nick Saban leaving Michigan State to go to LSU, I want y'all to come up of examples where a big time program, big name program, stole a coach, not from a group of six. Because if Summerall leaves Tulane and goes to Auburn, nobody at Tulane is going to be able to be mad at him.
Yeah.
But find me a time where somebody left a Power 4 program, went to another Power 4 program, and they had the success everybody was looking for. Is that happening with Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma to USC? No. Is it happening for hell, would you even say that it's happening for Mario Cristobal at Miami, leaving Oregon?
No, not yet, because the standard is ACC champion or college football playoff participant in my mind. If you go down the line of national champions, it really doesn't exist. The criteria that you're describing, where you go and you hire away someone else's Power 4 coach because they were having success. Now, there is an example of hiring away a Power 4 coach who was a good fit, but he wasn't having success, and that's Gene Chizik, coming off a 2-10 season at Iowa State. Auburn hired him. Imagine Auburn doing that now. Well, I mean, I guess they hired Hugh Freeze, but he was having success at Liberty. But hiring somebody for fit, right, instead of success elsewhere. Gene Chizik got a national championship. Obviously, Cam Newton helped that effort. But imagine Auburn trying to hire a 2-10 Power Five
Oh my
coach
God.
now. Imagine what the fans wouldn't have it. Like the
Look
people
at
aren't hiring
look at
for
how
fit.
Penn
They're
State fans are responding to potentially Fran Brown being there. Oh no, because they're too busy trying to win the press conference, go win football games. And they're like, oh, let's get Marcus Freeman. Let's throw $20 million at him. It may not fit at your university. Like, stop trying to and Ralph, they're like, let's steal Dan Lanning, let's steal Marcus Freeman. Ralph, I got a question. Where was Marcus Freeman prior to being Notre Dame's head coach?
Was he with Fickle?
Yes.
Was he a
And
Cincinnati guy? Okay,
yes, but he was also Notre Dame's defensive coordinator.
defensive coordinator.
And then
Yeah,
he was at Cincinnati prior to that. Where was Dan Lanning before he got Oregon's head coaching job?
Georgia, DC.
Oh, so maybe the guys that you want to steal are on somebody's coaching staff right now. Go find them. It's
Yeah,
a lower cost proposition. Like, the downside is way lower because you can hire them on like a 5-year, $25 million job, and if it don't work out, you're not paying. You're paying like $7 million worth of buyout money, like UCLA is to Deshaun Foster, versus $55 million.
that's true. I mean, you got Rhett Lashley got the SMU job off of being Miami's offensive coordinator. They were a college football playoff team last year. You had Kenny Dillingham go take Arizona State to the college football playoff off of being Oregon's offensive coordinator. You have Virginia making a run this year off of hiring away Clemson's OC and then trusting the process over time.
Yep.
Hiring. So the interesting thing about lower level staffers is what they do is sit around all day thinking about what they would do different if they were in charge.
Yep.
That's a really important thing to remember is that lower level staffers are the ones daydreaming about what they would do if they would have their opportunity. You hire away somebody's head coach, they're going to say like, well, it's my way or the highway because my way is what got me here.
Yep. And the lower level staffers are the ones that are, like you said, Ralph, daydreaming. They're sitting there thinking, oh, ooh, I like what Kirby Smart does in this area. I like what Nick Saban was doing in this area. And remember, Dan Lanning was under Saban and Kirby. So he's like, I like these things from Kirby. I like these things from here. I like these things from Todd Graham. I like these things from this coach. And then I'm going to do all of these things in one package. So they are the innovators. They are the ones that are the future. People talking the Penn State. Oh well, listen. If we can't land Marcus Freeman or this guy, we got to get Urban Meyer out of retirement. Urban Meyer has not coached in this era of college football. Do we believe that he is now out of the ways that because he knows what he did to have success at Florida? You can't do that in college football now. He tried to do it in the NFL, didn't work then. And those are professionals. So you think he's going to be able to come in college and do the same things he did at Florida in terms of the way he treated the players, the harsh environments and the stress on the players and all? Do you think that that's going to work? Probably not. John
And when you
Gruden.
hire from a lower level, which is something we talked about where people have had success, when you hire head coaches from a lower level, they daydream too.
Yep,
They daydream about like, man, look at what we're doing now. Imagine what we could do with more resources.
it's a fact.
So I don't know. I think you stumbled onto something here, and I think that college presidents and college athletic directors and booster clubs, they're not going to listen to us because they're like the GameStop traders who got in when the stock was already up over 100. These are hot stock traders. These are the guys that you can trick in your fantasy football league to taking Cam Scadaboo after he scores 3 touchdowns and trading you Patrick Mahomes for him, right? These are the
Yep.
people who buy high and sell low. and that's a problem. When the people who are influential in college football don't aren't visionaries, then that's an issue. And that's why, like, I respect people who try something different, and when it's ridiculous and it blows up in their face, then yeah, people can point and say, that never would have worked out in a million years. That's probably, we got a huge "I told you so" crowd getting ready for when University of North Carolina has to make a change. But when when you people who are closer to the ground are the future of college football. And so hiring coordinators, looking at some special teams coaches out there, good leaders, people who people respect, who have good relationships with these high school coaches in their
Yep.
recruiting area, who understand the portal because the bulk of their time in coaching has been within making use of that portal. Those should really be the criteria. I'd see all these fans calling to hire these big time head coaches away from their program. That doesn't, if they don't understand the recruiting area, if they don't
Yep.
have relationships with the local coaches, if they don't understand how to navigate your unique booster scene, if then it might not work out. And a lot of these teams also, you can get lucky bringing somebody in who isn't really part of your culture. I think Texas did that. I don't think Steve Sarkisian had ever even been to Austin before he took that job. I think it worked out for Ole Miss. Um, but they were also risks in their own way. So I don't know. I think that you really stumbled onto something here, and I would hope that the fact that we're going to have like 15 job openings, we'd at least see some of these, even the big time schools that think that they need to hire the hot name, maybe take a risk on taking an OC or a DC somewhere that has just shown that they're good at handling what they handle.
Yep.
And a lot of people in their life can vouch for them as leaders. And then you hope they grow into what you need them to be.
100%, Ralph. 100%. All right. Let's get to the storylines this week. Where we starting at, Ralph?
They finally listened to you, George. Florida, even after a win over Mississippi State, they eked it out. They let Billy Napier go. So we got a coaching change in Gainesville. Billy Napier, I think losing record in his time there, was it like 23-24 or something like that? 2024, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But good dude. I think you got to be a little bit greasy to handle success in the swamp. Also, only so many people can have success in this shifting landscape of college football. So they
Yes.
really got to get that figured out, what it is they're looking for. I think Billy Napier lands on his feet again. Good man. Really enjoyed having him as an offensive coordinator at Arizona State when I had the opportunity to cover that team. Um, I thought he did a great job at Louisiana, and I think he'll be fine. He's a hard guy to shed a tear for because he's probably going to be okay. Um,
Yes. Yeah. 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 He's the kind of guy that'll get that'll get sports washed after a year, and then he'll he'll resurface unless he wants to take another head coaching job now. But he may want to take a year to like decompress and then mid-season hop on as like an analyst somewhere, because Nick Saban no longer has his soup kitchen for coaches to like come and rehab. So somebody else has to take up that mantle. Maybe it'll be Kirby, but he's not quite old enough to have a soup kitchen for other coaches. So I don't know who can take that mantle because Saban, he was an expert at that. You go work for Saban for a year or two, and then all of a sudden, you got genius juice on you.
yeah, and I mean, like, he's just been grinding for such a long time. His I think like 8 years ago, his dad passed away from ALS, and it's like you just, if you get this opportunity, you got a bunch of money in the bank. Sometimes it helps to reset, and if you can go around to different programs the way that Dan Mullen did, you can sit with coaches all over the country, and you can kind of formulate what it is you want to do next. I think you should do that. I don't think a year off would be terrible for Billy Napier, and I'm really really fascinated to see what he does next. I'm definitely going to be rooting for him.
Yeah.
Who do you think, if anyone out there, who do you think could go into Florida and make Florida football exciting again? because that's really the issue, is that he's an offensive guy and they were not offensively fluid at all.
So I'm going to sound a little hypocritical right now. Because first thing is, because I think Florida is a unique situation, is I do believe that Lane Kiffin can go there and have success. But I do believe that there's a ceiling on Lane Kiffin. So if you want Lane Kiffin Ole Miss results, that's what you're going to get. I
Mm.
don't think you're going to get, undefeated seasons with him and all. I just don't. That's just not where I see Lane Kiffin. I think that he can make a playoff appearance here and there. Don't think that. I think that stuff like him posting the Pilates instructors on game day, he knew what he was doing. Like he was just joking around and having a good time and having fun. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with that. But also, it's just it ain't not necessarily what you're looking for. If that makes sense. Like championship coaches don't typically do things like that. That's all
Mm-hmm.
that's all I'm saying. That there's always going to be, a little meat on the bone left with Lane. I think you're going to get 10 wins a season probably. Well, in between 9 and 11 wins a season, and it'll be good. But then they're going to be upset because he hadn't won a national championship, but but I do believe that he raises the floor there. But if he decides to, and he feels like a coastal guy to me. But his family is finally all back together after he ripped that apart. And then so he might be happy in Oxford, but if they don't get him at Florida, I think Will Stein is a dude who would work great at Florida, even though he's kind of a Texas Midwest guy. I would like him there. Like you might be able to get some good action out of Georgia's defensive coordinator again. Um, Alabama's wide receiver coach that used to be at Washington, but I question a little bit because he hasn't really been a part of any like top tier defenses, and I think that that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I do think that there are some options, but I do think for Florida, Lane Kiffin might be the best option, even though that's hypocritical to what I said earlier.
I got a name for you.
Who?
Brian Kelly.
Okay, tell me why, Ralph, please. I'm not saying that that's it just like I was just so overwhelmed by the thought of that I couldn't even like fully. I need to understand what you mean.
Is he a good coach?
Yes.
Is proven, right? He's a good coach.
Yep.
Is he an asshole?
Yes.
That's what they need. The only hiccup I'd have with that, and like Florida fans just have to accept that that's who you are. Like you need a villain in charge. Urban Meyer might have been like evangelical and
Oh,
said all the right things on the surface, but
I'm gonna let you finish that thought. I got another name. Okay.
all right. I'm just saying, like if you accept we're the villains, we're gonna bring in a guy who is gonna have us at a floor 8 wins. That's gonna be the floor. And then, if he can get the right staff around him and we can move fast and break things and just be the pest, be the jerk in the SEC. Because I think at LSU, it's like there's some expectation um, that you fit the culture there. And he doesn't. And they're already talking about getting rid of him. And it's not like they might want to get rid of him if they finish 10-2.
Yeah.
So you get a fresh start. He's driven. He wants to prove people wrong. He's
Yeah.
pissed off. And you don't have to be some fake version of yourself to be an old white man in Florida. That's what Florida is.
Yeah.
It's old white man heaven. And so I don't know. I think that if you want somebody who is going to keep you from having 7-6 seasons, you never see 7-6 again, then Brian Kelly would be a guy to bring in.
Mm. But
It's not
Uh,
palatable. It's not supposed to be. It's
yeah.
supposed to feel gross. That's Florida. You want it to feel swampy.
It does feel swampy. Okay. So, how about Brian Hartline?
That could be really good.
Okay.
It
Or,
could be really good. I think there'd be a level of paranoia that they're going to lose him.
okay. Or, I got another one for you. Bryant
Okay.
Haynes,
Okay. Explain to me why.
Indiana defensive coordinator.
He's been good. He's
Yes,
been real good.
yes. He's a good leader. He's a good recruiter. And then also, Kurt Signetti can't do it without him.
You're trying to take down Indiana football. His experience in the South is relegated to the 2 years that he was on the north side of North Carolina at Elon.
Hey, hey,
So
hey. I'm just telling you. Maybe Al Golden.
Al Golden, former Miami coach Al Golden.
Yeah, he's got some
That's interesting.
Marcus Freeman juice on him. That sounds weird.
That pause, terrible. Rephrase, rewind.
He's got Marcus Freeman aura on him.
There we go. Sort of.
Um, you could probably give Pete Kiwatowski. He's got to be up there.
Do you think he wants to be a head coach? I get this all the time. Like,
Maybe
why
not.
is he not already a head
Yeah,
coach?
yeah.
Because he is
Probably not.
so good at his job.
Yes. Maybe Tim Banks at Tennessee.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good. They have personnel issues this year. They graduated, I think, a little bit too much, and I think people are starting to try to figure him out. But are you hiring somebody to run that side of the ball as well?
No, you're
It's a
you're
tough
hiring
one,
somebody
man.
to coach the coaches. Like that you need a
Yeah,
leader of men. That's what you need. Who has competency on one side of the ball.
Lincoln Riley. I'm gonna throw his name out for every
Dude,
single opening.
dude, I keep hearing names from people throwing stuff out to me. Uh Cliff Kingsbury. I'm like, what are
No,
we doing?
no. I think he's set a Peter principle because I don't think he's a leader of men. I think he's a very, very good coach. I think he's a good coach of a few men. Um, but I don't think in my time rooting for the Arizona Cardinals, I don't think he's the type of guy that could hold a star player accountable. I really don't.
Or I got one more option for you.
Okay.
San Diego State's head coach.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Sean Lewis.
Yes.
They're starting to have some success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Bro, some of these things are so easy to me because but people want to win the press conference. All right. So that was
All
Napier.
right. Yep. So next up, on a smaller scale, I think one of his former coworkers at Arizona State, Jay Norvell, also fired by Colorado State. This is one of the better jobs. Like they have money um, in Fort Collins, but they want you to do something with it right now. And so, this isn't like throw around money. This is like, hey, we gathered everything we got. We're going to give it to you. Please get us a return. Colorado State, I think, could be a very, very good stepping stone job. I wonder because you mentioned Will Stein for a job like, you know, do do you think somebody who is a Big Ten level offensive or defensive coordinator holds out for the biggest job, or do you think they look at Kurt Signetti and they realize like, oh, we can go down to a lower level, have a lot more control over our situation, and maybe prove this out over time. Like, do you think Kurt Signetti set a new model for some of these really high name coordinators to go? Because I mean, you've had it happen before, and I
For
think
the
Oregon is
coordinators,
higher
not
profile
as
than they were a few years ago. But you had Abelos take a job, and you had Marcus Arroyo take a job, and it didn't work out for either one. But I'm just curious.
no.
Do
I
you think a guy like Will
see.
Stein
See,
would
he went
consider
to
Colorado State?
like what IUP first, and then went to James Madison. I think that you're going that you have to get some buzz surrounding your name, which is unfortunate. But you do, like, you got to be in the know and in the right circles, have the right agent now to get a job, and that kind of sucks. So I do believe that going to a Colorado State is a smart move for a lot of for a lot of people, because you're going to get a chance to learn on the job, but also
Mm-hmm.
get major experience. And Colorado State's a place that can be like Memphis. Think about Memphis's last couple runs at coaches. You had Brent Pry, right? Mike Norvell.
No,
No, no.
yeah, Justin Fuente,
Yeah. I was
Mike
confused.
Norvell, and Ryan
Yes,
Silverfield.
because they were both were at Virginia Tech. Yeah, Justin Fuente, Mike Norvell, now Ryan Silverfield. Like, they're like, Memphis is a program that hasn't dropped off despite changing head
Yeah,
coaches.
this is the Boise State of the South.
Yes, same thing with Boise State. Like, they've been able to maintain their relevance and everything else despite coaching changes. Colorado State can do the exact same thing. It can be a place where you know that you get a coach, and he's gonna bounce after a while, but he'll leave the program in tip top shape, and the next guy will be able to come in and do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just
At least Jay Norvell won't have to talk about Dion anymore. He'll probably be happy about that.
I got a Colorado State name for you to save him from himself and sticking around too long to where he's no longer the hero. Jerry Neuheisel.
No, no, no.
No,
He's staying put at UCLA, bro. He's staying put.
but not,
I
but
believe
not in a position of influence, right? Like, I really worry
he's
that
gonna
they're
stay at,
that.
or no, he will. I believe that if they win one more game, well, sorry, if they win 2 out of the next 5, Tim Skipper's getting a head coaching job, and it is no question who his offensive coordinator is going to be.
Oh, you think they'll give Skipper the gig at
Yes,
UCLA?
yeah. They have 5 more games. They play Indiana, Nebraska, Ohio State, um, Washington, and then USC.
I want Tim Skipper to I want Tim Skipper to leave UCLA and go into business for himself as a full-time interim head coach. That's what I want. I want him to have like a group of guys that are like the cast of Armageddon, like when you need somebody to plant a nuke on a meteor. He's got a group of guys that he's ready to call, like they're just in a warehouse somewhere, or one guy's like off playing poker professionally, and he gets the whole gang together, and then if somebody
Oh, it's
fires
like
their
a
coach
gang of
mid-season,
Ocean's 11. He's got to show up and be
yes,
like, hey, yo, we need another guy.
yeah,
Who else?
that's what
Who
I
else should
want.
we get?
I want Tim Skipper to be that. Like, I want him to just like be ready to go be the interim coach of
And when
any
he shows up
program.
at his most important guy, he's like, "Yo, I'm out of the game. I don't want to do it." And he's like, hey, yo. I mean, what about Diane? Wait, Diane's gonna be there? I mean, no. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Hey, man, I tried, and then walk out. Wait, dude, it's like
What'd you say?
gathering
What'd
the
you say that?
gang.
What'd you say the bag was again?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be incredible? Like, just Tim
Which
Skipper's
casinos
knock
did you
around
say?
guys.
Which casinos did you say that we're gonna? Those are Terry Benedict's casinos.
I do. I want that for Tim Skipper. I want him to just have like a crew that he gets together every single year, and then all of a sudden it's like A&M fires their coach 3 games into the season, and Tim Skipper comes in there. He's able to rally the troops and like salvage it, and then he just fades off into the sunset. You don't see him for another 18 months.
And he gets
But
theme
the
music
payday's got
and
to be
every
huge. Yeah. What
yeah,
like,
yeah, and
like
you pay
I
a
want him
premium
to
for
be
that.
like to get a call from an AD and then to be like, all right, what's the score?
I like it. I like it. I'm not mad at that.
All right, so some coaches got fired this week. Some coaches got athletic director statements, including Luke Fickell at Wisconsin and Mike Norvell at Florida State. Hugh Freeze at Auburn actually came out and asked for a statement. He said
Please.
it'd be real cool if my ID also had something to say. Clearly, all 3 of these coaches are as much on the chopping block as you can possibly be. What's your take on these AD statements, George? Why are these teams waiting?
I believe that Wisconsin's AD actually he's the one who means it between him and Norvell. If Norvell loses to Wake Forest this week, they are going to start counting money, like pulling money from cushions, because $55 million plus. And now we don't know the full buyout structure yet, I don't think, but $55 million for Norvell. When they gave him that extension, I couldn't even understand why. Like, I was like, yo, he's not gonna leave for Alabama. What are we doing? Like, stop just handing out money. And if you leave, cool, bye, bye. If you're that desperate, then you weren't gonna stay here anyway. So bye. Um. So for Luke Fickell, I believe that Wisconsin is saying we hired the right guy. We have not given him the resources necessary to be successful. His quarterbacks have been absolutely devastated the last, like his
Yeah.
he lost his starting quarterback 2 years in a row. And it's going to be tough to win like that. So and under-resourced and underfunded. Yeah, I like their philosophy. And all right, Luke, all right, cool, man. We still believe in you. You will be back next year, but we're going to resource you. And then we're going to see what you're really made out of. And if you can't get us 6 or 7 wins next year, then, and if your quarterback gets hurt again, maybe you're just bad luck and we need to find somebody else.
Yeah, what I don't love for Wisconsin football is being dependent on their quarterback's health when they were relevant for such a long time. You know, I
Running the
can
damn
name maybe
football.
one Wisconsin quarterback ever, like Scott Tolzien. I can name all their running backs. I can name
Damn.
all their left tackles. But like
Damn, that
it's
is
it's like
true.
he's gotten them outside their identity. And I see all these complaints online of like he no showed or wouldn't promise to show up to some booster events. He has no relationship with high school coaches. Like, I think things are really, really bad in Wisconsin. But you might be right. Maybe they're sincere. I will say that the Florida State statement sounds like um like that behind the scenes, the athletic director is um committing extortion on the boosters. So be like, hey, if you guys don't pony up this money, I'm gonna extend Mike Norvell. like,
Yes. Dude,
you don't think I will? Watch me issue this statement saying that he's around until the end of the year. You want me to issue a statement
bro,
saying that he'll be
they
back
are
next year?
0
Why
and
don't you do
4.
something about it?
They are 0-4 in ACC play. They have not won an ACC game since 2023. Um, they still have Wake Forest, at Clemson, Virginia Tech, NC State, and Florida left. Ralph, how many games will they win?
I think 2 or 3. Um, I definitely think he's lost the locker room. I don't think the players take him seriously. I think he's got a lot of dudes who did not handle becoming wealthy, relatively well off in college. Um, I think the energy of a guy like Castellanos is very important for that team. But I think for the most part, you had a lot of guys that were on a 13-0 squad that came back, got NIL money, and just aren't. I'm not a big believer in blaming the players, But the truth of the matter is, and you know this to be true, George, there's a lot of guys out there who feel like they, when that NIL check hit, a real relief in the pressure that they put on themselves to succeed.
Yep.
And I think Mike Norvell's been having a real uphill battle. And I notice this, like I go to ACC Media Day and I see the guys that show up to represent the team, and they got on like the most iced out chains I've ever seen in my entire life. You know,
Yep.
coming back off a squad that didn't get any penetration, you got a defensive tackle out there with like the biggest, brightest chain I've ever seen.
Yep.
And so, you know, it's just, I do think that there's a lot of guys at Florida State who aren't hungry because they got fed. And that's not a great place to be in the current atmosphere of, because you're not a pro yet. And so you can't handle the perks of being a pro in Tallahassee. You know, there's a lot of losers in the NFL who, who cash checks every week.
Yes. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. So yeah, I look at this situation and I'm like, I on the Mike Norvell's situation, I just don't think that it feels like he's not gonna be able to solve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all because he went the payday loan route. They portaled everybody in the year they went 13-0. They were like, "Oh, that'll work again." False. And then they were like, "It'll work again. We just got the wrong guys." No, high school, recruit your ass off. Fill
Mm-hmm.
holes in the portal. Develop. That's the actual recipe for winning.
Well, let's move on from people who are losing to people who are winning. Let's talk about our updated Heisman outlook.
Yeah.
Um, this week, I think that Diego Pavia made a huge splash. But I have a question for you, George. Can Diego Pavia win a Heisman in a year where Alabama keeps winning? Is it even possible for Diego Pavia to win a Heisman if Alabama doesn't fumble the bag in some way?
100% yes. I do not believe that Ty Simpson should even be the Heisman leader right now. I believe Fernando Mendoza and then
Mm-hmm.
Diego Pavia should be the Heisman top two right now. If Vanderbilt keeps winning, I believe that that the growing sentiment surrounding the Heisman Trophy, and if I were Vanderbilt, this would be my messaging that I am getting out because they still got Missouri. If they beat Missouri, then beat Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, even if they lose to Tennessee at the end. But if they go 5-0 to end the season and finish 11-1, he's doing more with less. My messaging would be this is the ultimate underdog story. You can vote for the dude who and even though that this is not Ty Simpson's story, this is the I mean like you can vote for the guy who arrived on third base, or you can vote for the guy who pulled himself up by his bootstraps. He went. I would make this a legacy award, like Ron Dane got. Started off at a JUCO, goes to New Mexico, then goes to Vanderbilt. Nobody wants to be at Vanderbilt. You can't win at Vanderbilt. Oh, he's winning at Vanderbilt. He beats Alabama first time in 40 years. And then this year takes a team to 10-2 into the SEC championship game. What are you going to say?
Mm.
I would make this a legacy award and not just a single season award. Then I think he gets votes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wonder if Ty Simpson keeps playing the way he's playing right now, it just makes me wonder if because they had that head to head, if people would still vote Pavia over Ty
Pavia
Simpson.
didn't play bad in the
No, he
game,
did
so
not.
you can be
No,
like
he did not.
he
But
beat them,
Ty Simpson
and
has
he goes toe to toe with the big bad giant. Like he's David.
Yeah. No, he's the best. He's absolutely the best. It's just that Ty Simpson is not
Listen,
making any
if they keep winning,
mistakes.
I'm gonna start campaigning for him.
It feels like what it feels like is rooting for Phil Mickelson against Tiger Woods, though,
Oh God, no, it
because
does
it's
not.
like, yeah,
Yuck.
no,
I would never do
yeah,
that.
it does.
No, it doesn't. How could you? I don't even understand how people like Phil Mickelson.
Lefty, come on now.
Nothing about yes. I
But yeah,
never understood it. I'm like he ain't like. Do you know how many golfers
but
I
he
would
was
root
number
for
2 in the world.
before Phil Mickelson?
But he was number 2 in the world, and he was playing the. If Tiger didn't exist, he would have been the number 1 player in the world over like a
Yeah,
five
but
six
he
year
ain't an
span.
underdog. There's nothing about him that's an underdog.
When yeah, well, I see what you're saying. I'm just saying that like Tiger Woods never messed up. Well, when he was healthy on the golf course. Those 2 big
Yeah, I'm
asterisks.
just saying, like,
I'm saying how can you pass somebody who doesn't make mistakes? It's
I
tough, and
mean,
I
they
get
did
that
make a
some people
mistake. They
support the
lost to
underdog.
Florida State, which is going to be the worst loss of the
Yeah,
season.
but in the same way that you point out how Diego Pavia played against Alabama, that's how Ty Simpson played against Florida State. Like it wasn't that
Doesn't
bad. But
matter.
I
You
no, I
can't
see what you're
lose
saying.
that game. Yeah.
It'll be funny when people justify giving a vote to Diego Pavia because Vanderbilt has a better loss, but the
Yes.
loss is to the guy that they're
Yep.
voting against.
100%.
All right, so George, my other question for you is: do I get to start calling myself a quarterback guru if at the end of the year on the Heisman stage, Fernando Mendoza and Brendan Sorsby are both there?
Okay.
The fact that you even have to think about this is very funny. The answer should be no. I'm a 5'8" white dude in Mint Hill, North Carolina, who never played quarterback. But
Okay.
at this
We're
point,
gonna see.
my track
We're gonna
record
say
on quarterbacks is crazy.
Yes, it is quarterback spotter. Like Ralph
Okay.
knows quarterback talent when he sees it. I mean, dude, I have. I mean, the only one that he probably missed on that I'm very surprised was that when I was telling him how good Josh Allen was going to be, and he did not even believe it of his own Wyoming Cowboys. Ralph, I don't know how you possibly could have thought that Josh Allen was a. I think your quote was a running back playing quarterback. I think that was your quote, and you said that you don't go from being this inaccurate to being accurate. He is going to be an NFL bust and a bum. And and then me making up a Twitter account to then defend him. Like how did how did you miss that badly on Josh Allen?
This is the problem with you and me looking alike is sometimes you forget which one of us is which. Oh my gosh.
I said all those
That
things by the way. That
we
Josh
used to
Allen is my
fight.
biggest swing and miss of all time. But Ralph has given me Brock Purdy, who I was a fan of in college, but I didn't think he was gonna be good. I thought he would be a good backup in the pros. I didn't think he was gonna be good. Josh Allen is giving me Damon Williams. He has been right about Dylan Raiola. Who else?
I would
Oh,
say
Brendan
Fernando.
Sorsby.
Yeah, Fernando's up there, and then Brendan
Fernando Mendoza.
Sorsby.
Yeah.
Brendan Sorsby going into the Arizona State game last year when Cincinnati was like, I don't know, 3-2 or something like that. I got on my ASU podcast and I was like, guys, we're going up against an NFL quarterback. And people were like, no, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, no, you just don't see the vision. I will tell you, I do have one swing and miss. Is my first ever quarterback that I like got an unhealthy obsession with. And I feel like if Sorsby ends up getting drafted into the NFL, it will wash that one out of my system. It was actually a Cincinnati quarterback. It was my biggest swing and miss ever. Was I used to go hard in the paint for a 6'6" Brian Kelly quarterback. Do you know who I'm talking about?
6'6". Oh wait, Brian Kelly quarterback.
At Cincinnati, yeah. See, this is the problem. He made it so that nobody even remembers him. Tony Pike. I was obsessed with Tony Pike.
Okay.
And that is to date, that is my absolute biggest whiff. But it's not every quarter. It's not like the quarterbacks that everyone knows will be good. There's these ones that I just get like, and I got the tweets to prove, like when after one game of Josh Allen in college, I posted, I was like, this might be the next Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I used to scream at people to offer Brock Purdy. When he was still in high school, he didn't get his first Power 5 offer until after his high school career ended. And I've felt the same way about Brendan Sorsby. I had to see Fernando Mendoza play a game in college before I got on that train.
Yeah.
But I get a lot wrong, but like this is the one thing I'm super proud of is if I see Fernando Mendoza and Brendan Sorsby on the Heisman stage together, nobody's gonna be able to tell me shit for a very long time.
And that's fair. That's fair.
1 year off a Josh Allen MVP and a $250 million Brock Purdy contract.
The paper MVP. It was Lamar's award. That's ridiculous.
I don't disagree, but it happened.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish up our storylines with. I want to know, George, because Memphis and UNLV went down this last weekend. Who's our G5 college football playoff favorite right now?
Memphis. They finna go beat USF this weekend. Soon as they beat USF, they will be back in it. If not, it's over. It's USF.
So this is basically a college football playoff game.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, on the college football
so UNLV's
prediction show, which is up right now, you will learn that yes, it is a 100% playoff game. 100%.
So no shot for UNLV at all, even if they win out. Even if they get Boise State back in like a Mountain West title.
Yeah, no. Because if USF, if they don't lose, then they are in there for good, permanently.
Okay. All right, so let's get to Wrighster or wrong. This is probably my favorite storyline of the week, and it has to do with FCS football, which we don't talk about very often. We actually do talk about Sacramento State quite a bit, because your boy and former Arizona State assistant is the head coach out at Sacramento State.
Oh, I talked to him today. I think we're going to have him on the show next week.
That would be incredible. So I'll be careful with what I say.
Isn't it funny?
Oh.
Yeah, dude. I literally have been texting with Brennan and with Kenny Dillingham today.
Oh, that's fascinating. I'm actually going to write a column today for my Arizona Varsity website talking about how Kenny Dillingham was wrong about something. So let's see if we can piss off both coaches that you've been texting. Here we go. All right. So this actually doesn't have anything to do with Brandon Marion at all. But the president of Sacramento State, the man who probably signed off on the hiring of Brandon Marion, decided to get involved in this upcoming game between Sac State and Montana. Sac State's president, Luke Wood, called Montana, who are the Grizzlies, by the way, and who have been an FCS powerhouse for a long time.
Yes.
He called them the Pandas.
Why would he call them the Pandas?
I don't know, but it was. You know how you say a hit dog hollers?
Yes.
I've never seen people get so mad over something that's like, I won't say not that big of a deal because it doesn't have anything to do with me. I don't get to decide whether it's a big deal or not.
Yeah.
Montana's pissed, dude. They're furious.
They're the Grizzlies.
They are the Grizzlies, yes. So this is the quote from Luke Wood. He said, "We're looking forward to playing the Montana Pandas. Sorry, Montana Grizzlies. I think that's their name, right?" The head coach of Montana, Bobby Haug, was like, "That guy's kind of a clown, right?"
Oh wow!
And Wood said he didn't take that personally, and he said it's all in good fun. Guess who's not taking it as all in good fun?
Who?
the entire University of Montana.
Oh yeah,
Although they did put up a mock helmet of what pandas would look like in the cursive script on the side of their helmets.
yeah.
They're pissed though, and
Oh,
that's so. There's this phrase: "Don't poke the bear." They're literally the bear, the grizzly bears, not the panda bears,
yeah.
and they are very good. Do you think this is
So
smart? If
I was
if your
looking at their
boss's
schedule.
boss,
So Montana has beat. They have one common opponent right now, which is Cal Poly. Montana beat Cal Poly, and they're 7-0, and Sacramento State lost to Cal Poly. So, but one of these teams is having a tremendously difficult time throwing the football. Montana's completing 69% of their 68% of their passes for 2,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 6 picks. Okay. Um, Now on the other hand, Sacramento State has been shuffling quarterbacks, and now they are a running football team. A running football team, Ralph. Like this is they don't even like they have 1,100 like 1,200 yards passing total. Yeah, it's not it's suboptimal. They in the last game versus Northern Colorado, Ralph, they Sacramento State 8 for 16 passing for 90 yards. Jaden Rashada 1 for 1, and then they ran the ball 57 times for 332 yards.
would you have done this if your Sac State's well? The whole thing is Wrighster wrong. So like, was Sacramento State's president Wrighster or wrong for poking the bear, or are we gonna find out?
We are gonna find out. I'm gonna go with Reister. He said it was in jest. Like people, just joke around. Sometimes you take yourself too
Yeah,
seriously. I'm gonna go with Reister.
we're getting dangerously close to like racial overtones involved in this feud as well, because Sac State, I think they played Northern Colorado a little while back,
Yeah.
and they had Little Yachty play after the game, and
Okay.
then there was like a big fight. There was like a brawl, and Montana's coach Bobby Houck, I think, called it a riot.
Oh.
And now
Okay.
this game is at Sac State, and Quavo is playing after the Montana game. So I'm just
The,
curious if we're going to see a bunch of Montana fans with skull in their bottom lip out here
yes.
watching Quavo.
Who is this? Who is this?
I'm
Who's
so
this about?
excited for this game. We wouldn't be talking about this game otherwise. So
Right.
shout out to Sac State and Montana.
Yeah.
We are
I'm
officially
putting
on
dip
Panda
in.
Watch. Wrighster or wrong, Texas Tech's athletic director has issued a ban on throwing tortillas because they keep getting fined. Texas Tech fans are pissed at the Big 12. And this all comes on the heels of Kansas Knifegate, in which Lance Leopold made a claim that Texas Tech students threw a pocket knife onto the field. Turns out that was not the case, and Kansas actually got fined for disparaging a conference opponent.
Yeah.
But Texas Tech fans believe in their mind that this is all leading to them being banned from throwing tortillas, a prized tradition in Lubbock. Reister or wrong, banning tortillas being thrown in Lubbock.
It is 100% Reister only because they're getting fined for it. Fans have to abide by the rules. You throw the tortillas before the game, and then no more tortilla throwing. No more tortilla throwing. And then you can throw tortillas after the game. That's it. Those are the only two acceptable times to throw tortillas. I don't care if you're mad at the refs, if you're frustrated, anything like that. And if you can't follow that, then yes, we have to ban tortillas.
In the 2014 season, Sun Devil Stadium, as it was called at the time, banned tortillas from being brought into the stadium at all. So I say this as an Arizona State fan: you can survive this.
Oh, I've been
You
in a
will make it through.
tortilla game though, Ralph.
Yeah,
When we played in the Sun Bowl against Minnesota, the year I redshirted, they threw tortillas. in El Paso.
That's awesome. I don't love it, even though this week I found out that Texas Tech fans are not as cool as I thought that they were. Um, and Big 12 fans have been in my mentions all week long saying like welcome to the party. I still like Texas Tech, still root for them, but God, dealing with their fans this week sucked so much. I do want to segue into how much authority we think these coaches have, because Kalani Sitake, after the Holy War, he appealed to the scriptures in the Book of Mormon to encourage BYU fans to be cool to Utah fans after victory and field storming. And they had said, don't storm the field, and you know, BYU fans did it anyway. Do these coaches have any authority over these kids at all?
No. They get sauced. They're like, do you think you're going to stop us from storming the field against Utah? No. The best you can hope for is to do what Vanderbilt did, is to put out a siren. They were like, hold on, hold it, like Braveheart, hold. Okay, their staff is off the field. Go. Like they put a horn on so people could. That's the best you can do. Field storming is part of the jam. Get over it.
Okay, Wrighster or wrong, we are on the precipice of something very bad happening between fans and players. And I say that because we just had a Texas Tech defensive lineman smush an Arizona State fan's face, which I have no problem with. I think that you should celebrate a win, not troll your opponent. Some people will say hands off regardless. I don't care. You weren't supposed to be on the playing surface. You decided to go up to an opposing player. He didn't hit you. He pushed your face away. It could have been a lot worse. I'm not trying to say that's what you get. I'm saying I don't feel bad. But I showed you a clip, and I'm not talking about the Texas Tech thing so much as I am talking about this. I showed you a clip of the Coastal Carolina players going after the App State fans. And the Coastal Carolina players were on the field, and the App State fans were in the stands. So nobody left their area for this. But I think even you'll admit, and you guys can find this clip, it's out on TikTok, the Coastal Carolina players were out of pocket going after the App State fans.
Yes. Yeah. But they were still standing on the playing field. So everybody was away from each other. I do believe that we are in line for something bad to happen, which I absolutely hate. I don't like it at all. And I don't want it to happen. And this is why fans have to abide by the rules, which is stay in your lane. If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it, because you're going to end up with some bad situations, and it's going to be bad for everybody.
I don't like some of the ways some of the fans have talked to our guy to Diego Pavia. I think the Alabama fans after that game got a little out of pocket. I think that Auburn's quarterback has taken his fair share of shots from the fans. I think that's all part of it. But what we saw in that Coastal Carolina game was the quarterback literally run over to the stands and cuss everybody out while another player stood up on the bench.
Yeah.
2 middle fingers to the sky, grabbing his dick. So I just feel like we're getting dangerously close to things getting really, really weird. All right, last one. And I don't know if you saw this, but Colin Simmons at Texas, who I have mixed feelings about. By mixed feelings, I believe he's A, incredible, a top 10 pick, would love him on the Arizona Cardinals. And B, I think that his judgment is suspect at times.
Why?
Because he like gets on his phone during games and like retweets stuff, and he's bigger
Colin
than the game.
Simmons from Texas?
Yes.
Wait. He's retweeting stuff during the game?
Yeah, so during the Peach Bowl, Texas was up big at halftime.
Yes.
So he like went into the locker room and posted on his Instagram story that Cam Scadaboo sucks and it was light work.
What?
And all that stuff. What I'm saying is he is as talented as it gets. I also very much question his judgment at times. This week, he exercised that questionable judgment to do something. I want to know, Wrighster or wrong, if you thought it was the right move. In the press conference after this narrow Texas win over Kentucky, which if you know ball, you don't put any stock in. If you know ball, you don't, a narrow win in Lexington, that you're just happy to get out alive.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Yes. In
I'm not
general,
I'm not
yes.
worried about Texas. I don't want to talk about what Texas looked bad or whatever. It's Lexington. It's hell. No one
Yeah.
looks good playing in Lexington. They're tough as hell in their own. They don't win, but they're tough as hell in their home stadium. So after the game, I guess Sark told a media member this team's identity is defense and special teams right now.
Yeah.
And a media member repeated that back to Colin Simmons.
Okay.
And Colin Simmons said, I think our coach meant to say offense, defense, and special teams. If he didn't
No,
say
he
it, he
didn't.
meant to.
No, he
Right,
didn't
right,
mean
but
to say that
right, but
because
Colin Simmons, and there's a clip out there. You'll see it eventually. Like Colin Simmons, he said no. Like our if our coach didn't say it, he meant to. We have each other's backs here. So was he Wrighster or wrong? Did he undercut Sark? Was he being a good teammate?
um, I think he was trying to be a good teammate, but I'm not necessarily gonna correct my coach in the media. Like I think that's what he meant to say. So then you can go back and be like, "Yo, hey, coach, hey, did you mean to say this?" Nah, man, I said what I meant. And then now you
But
got a
you
different
can't.
problem on
You
your hands.
can't if you're Sark. You can't. That's a checkmate to me.
What do you mean?
If you are Steve Sarkisian, you can't correct Colin Simmons. You'll see. I'm gonna send you this clip. I'm gonna send you this clip right now so you
Why
can just
can't
watch
you
it on
correct him?
because of what he said. Here, I'm gonna find this real quick. Have you ever
Okay.
been in a situation where you've seen somebody in a press conference say like my coach was wrong?
Um, no, not typically. No, that's typically frowned upon.
And so that's why I say like I do question. All right, so I'm sending it to you right now
Okay.
via text message. It's a real short clip. All right, so I want you to crank the volume up on your phone, and I want you to react to this in real time because this one really caught me by
Okay.
surprise.
All right. Okay. I'm waiting on it to come in. Wait, you sent it to my Twitter or you sent it to
I
my
text you. I text you.
okay. Um all right. Um, all right, I got it.
So this is Colin Simmons, star defensive end for University of Texas after their overtime win against Kentucky.
The identity of this team right now is defense and special teams. Say that again. Sark is saying the identity of y'all's team is defense and special teams. And offense. Sark didn't say that. So when he says defense, what does that mean to you when he says that's the identity of this team? I think he meant to say defense, special teams, and offense. We're a team. We're a whole team. So, I mean, it ain't just defense and special teams. It's defense, special teams, and offense. We got the offensive back. We got offense back. Offense got our back. Special teams got both our backs. Sark was saying.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to correct him. I think that that he's being a good teammate and like that's it. That's what he was trying to do. He's trying to be
Yeah,
encouraging and trying to be a leader. Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
neither am I, but I'm just saying Sark can't come out and say like, no, our offense sucks. Like,
Oh no, even though they do.
they're not great. They're not great. Well, let's end on that note. What are you looking forward to this upcoming week?
Oh my gosh, bro. The what I believe are the six most important games of the weekend. And I talked about this yesterday on the live show. I believe that there are six games that are like highly important. And those are the and for different reasons. But they're all kind of related. Texas A&M, LSU. So this is about coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly's fighting for his life right now. He may not be fighting for his job, but he's fighting for his life. Nebraska and Northwestern. Matt Rule loses this game because Northwestern is 5-2. They should be ranked soon. Their worst loss. I mean, they lost to Oregon. Is if Nebraska is a 7.5 point favorite, loses this game, Matt Rule ain't gonna be a sexy hire at Penn State. He actually might be forced to stay at Nebraska, which I don't know is going to happen. Arkansas versus Auburn. Bobby Petrino fighting for his life. And so is we'll just finish this here. And you got because we just lost the camera. The camera got tired. And then Auburn, Hugh Freeze is fighting for his life. Washington and Illinois, both them guys might be fighting for new jobs or fighting for new contracts where they're at. And yeah, like that's and then the Memphis and um USF game. Ryan Silverfield and Alex Golish fighting it out for a playoff spot and fighting for jobs.
I'm looking forward to these teams in the Big 12 that are on life support, whether or not they can handle themselves. So Utah is probably going to be without Devin Dampier, and they got Colorado coming to town. And if they lose, that's going to be their third Big 12 loss, and this is kind of a lost season for Utah if that's the case. Arizona State has 6-1 Houston coming to town. The loser of this game will be 3-2 in the Big 12 and will be as close to dead as you can possibly be. Baylor goes to Cincinnati. I can't believe I'm rooting against myself here, but I kind of, as an Arizona State guy, need Baylor to win. But I do want Brendan Sorsby to look good. If Cincinnati moves to 5-0 in the Big 12, that's got to be one of the biggest surprises of the season. And then undefeated BYU is in Ames, Iowa, and this is it. Like Iowa State, if they want to go back to the Big 12 title game, it's a must win. Plus, they're going to need extra help later. I predicted before the season that BYU would go 8-0 and then fall off a cliff. In order for BYU to go 8-0, I need them to win this weekend in Ames. So I think it's going to be a really, really wacky weekend in the Big 12. And the other thing I'm looking forward to, Wyoming made a change at offensive coordinator. They put program legend Javon Bonite in to call plays. If we can score more than 20 points, it'd be an absolute miracle.
You said it would be a miracle?
We suck, dude. And this is I was looking forward to being the reason Jay Norvell got fired, but they fired him before the border war. So this is Wyoming's rivalry game, and they put a program legend in charge of the offense. I just hope that I hope we move the ball at all.
Jeez. Way to be Debbie Downer, bud.
I'm down like your camera.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, get notifications. Tell a friend about the show. Peace out. Catch you guys later.